My beloved brothers and sisters, we live in a world where royalty is measured by crowns, palaces, fame, and wealth. A queen in the eyes of people is the one who wears gold, who walks with power, who has the admiration of crowds. But let me ask you something. What is royalty in the sight of Allah? Is it in your bank account? Is it in your beauty? Is it in the number of people who follow you? Wallahi, no. True royalty is far beyond this dunya. Allah Almighty has honored women in a way no society, no culture, no kingdom can ever match. A woman who remembers her Lord, who guards her dignity, who chooses patience over anger, who holds on to faith even when life tests her. She is more royal than any queen who ever walked this earth. Her crown is invisible here, but in the hereafter, Allah will place upon her a crown brighter than the sun. Think of Maryam's, peace be upon her, honored in the Quran for her purity and devotion. Think of Khadija Ray, the pillar of strength for the Prophet I. Think of Fatima Rara, called the leader of the women of paradise. They did not chase people's approval, they chased Allah's pleasure. And that, my brothers and sisters, is true royalty. Today, I want to share with you 7 hidden lessons that transform an ordinary woman into a queen in the sight of Allah. These lessons are not taught by this dunya. They are hidden treasures of the Quran and Sunnah. If you hold on to them, your heart will wear the crown of faith and your soul will shine brighter than any jewel in this world. My beloved brothers and sisters, let us begin with a reality that shakes our hearts in this dunya. People judge you by how you look, by what you wear, by the brand names on your clothing, by the shine of your jewelry, by the perfection of your face, by the followers you gain on social media. Society has created an illusion that a woman's worth lies in her beauty and appearance. But Allah Almighty tells us the complete opposite. He says in the Quran, indeed, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the one with the most taqwa. Subhanallah. The true definition of royalty is not written on your face, not embroidered on your dress, not found in the color of your skin or the number of people who praise you. True royalty begins in your heart with taqwa. Taqwa is a hidden crown. It is the invisible jewel that no camera can capture, no makeup can create, no filter can design. Taqwa is the awareness of Allah in every step you take, in every word you utter, in every decision you make. When a woman carries taqwa in her heart, she carries the greatest form of dignity that no fashion show can ever display. She becomes honored not because of what the people see, but because of how Allah sees her. And my brothers and sisters, when Allah honors you, no one can degrade you. When Allah raises you, no one can bring you down. Look at the world today. Many young women feel pressured to compete with images they see online. They believe that if they do not match a certain standard of beauty, they are less valuable. Some even destroy their health, their self-esteem, their peace of mind just to look acceptable in the eyes of others. But let us remember the words of the Prophet Muhammad. He said, Allah does not look at your appearance or your wealth, but He looks at your hearts and your deeds. What an empowering reminder. You may not be the most beautiful in the eyes of people, but if your heart is pure and your actions are sincere, you are the most beautiful in the sight of Allah. Think of the women Allah honored in the Quran. Maryam, as peace be upon her, is the only woman mentioned by name in the Quran, an entire chapter named after her. Was she honored for her beauty? Was she raised because of her wealth? No, she was honored for her taqwa, for her complete devotion to Allah, for her purity and her modesty. Think of Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh. She lived in a palace, surrounded by gold and luxury, yet she knew true royalty was not in palaces. It was in the heart connected to Allah. She turned away from the glitter of this world and prayed, "O my Lord, build for me a house near you in paradise." That is taqwa, choosing Allah over Dunya, choosing Jannah over castles, choosing eternal glory over temporary glamour. My sisters, remember this well. When you walk with taqwa, you walk with a crown that never falls. The world may strip you of titles, the people may insult you, society may belittle you, but taqwa shields you. Taqwa protects your dignity. Taqwa places a light upon your face that no cream can give, a peace in your heart that no amount of wealth can buy. Taqwa is what makes angels pray for you, what makes Allah love you, what makes your name mentioned in the heavens when the world ignores you. Do not be deceived by those who measure their value through appearance. Beauty fades, wealth vanishes, trends change, but taqwa remains. The hijab you wear for Allah, the patience you show for Allah, the tears you shed in sujood at night, all of it is recorded. All of it beautifies you in ways the dunya cannot understand. The world will one day forget the names of the so-called beautiful and famous women, but Allah will never forget the women of taqwa, those who chose to honor Him above all. When you build your life on appearance, you build on sand. The tide of age will wash it away. But when you build your life on taqwa, you build on rock, unshaken by storms. This is why the women of paradise will not be remembered for how they looked, but for how they lived. And you too have that chance. So if you want to be royal in the sight of Allah, do not rush to the mirror before rushing to the prayer mat. Do not rush to please people before seeking the pleasure of Allah. Do not break your heart over worldly crowns that rust, but raise your heart for the crown of taqwa that shines forever. A queen in this world may lose her throne, but a woman of taqwa will be crowned eternally in Jannah. And that, my beloved sisters, is the beginning of true royalty. My beloved brothers and sisters, let us pause and reflect on something that many people misunderstand. Honor, dignity, and respect are not built when life is easy. They are built when life tests you, when you are pushed to your limits, when you are wronged, betrayed, mocked, or hurt. That is where true royalty is discovered. Allah does not honor a person because of how smooth their journey has been. He honors those who show sabr, those who remain patient and steadfast when the storms of life surround them. Patience is not weakness. In fact, patience is the greatest strength a believer can carry. It takes no effort to shout back when someone insults you. It takes no effort to curse when someone curses you. But it takes enormous strength to remain silent for the sake of Allah, to choose dignity over anger, to choose forgiveness over revenge. And that strength is called sabr. Allah says in the Quran, indeed, Allah is with those who are patient. Imagine that, the King of all kings is with you when you remain patient. That is true royalty, to have Allah on your side, to have His mercy wrap around you in your darkest moments. Look at the lives of the greatest women in our history. Maryam, peace be upon her, carried the heaviest of burdens, facing accusations, isolation, and pain, yet she chose patience. She raised her hands to Allah, and Allah raised her rank until He made her an example for all of humanity. Khadija Zaray, the noble wife of the Prophet, faced financial loss, persecution, and the pain of supporting Islam when the world rejected it. Yet her patience made her a queen of paradise. Fatima Ray, the beloved daughter of the Prophet, lived a life of hardship, simplicity, and struggle. Yet her patience made her the leader of the women in Jannah. Azia, the wife of Pharaoh, had all the luxury of the world, yet she was tortured for her belief. Her patience was so powerful that Allah Himself immortalized her in the Quran as an example for the believers. Do you see the pattern? True honor does not come from being free of struggles. It comes from how you hold yourself in the struggles. When you are patient, you wear a crown unseen by people, but seen by Allah. When you remain patient in the face of trials, your name is mentioned among the angels. When you choose patience over despair, Allah promises you rewards without measure. Subhanallah, there is no other act of worship in the Quran that Allah describes without measure, except sabr. That means when you choose patience, Allah rewards you endlessly, without limits, without count. That is the honor of sabr. My dear sisters, remember this well, your patience today is your crown tomorrow. Every tear you shed in silence, every insult you bear with dignity, every night you cry out to Allah while the world sleeps, all of it is stored with Allah. People may never see your strength, they may never recognize your battles, but Allah sees, Allah knows, and Allah will reward. The Prophet A said, "Whoever remains patient, Allah will make him patient. And no one is given a gift better and more comprehensive than patience." What greater honor could there be than being granted patience directly from Allah? Think of the injustices people face. Some are mistreated in marriage, some are disrespected by family, some are abandoned by friends, some are judged harshly by society. And yet, the woman who holds on to sabr, who turns her pain into dua, who chooses not to break her dignity with complaints to people but raises her hands to Allah, that woman is royal in His sight. She is greater than the queen who wears diamonds but cannot sleep in peace. She is greater than the celebrity who smiles in public but cries in emptiness. For her sabr is her crown, her honor, her beauty. Do not think that patience means you remain silent in abuse or accept injustice. No. Islam teaches us to seek solutions, to stand for justice, to protect our dignity. But even while doing so, patience is your companion. Patience stops you from falling into sin when you are tested. Patience stops you from losing hope when the doors seem closed. Patience keeps your heart alive when the dunya tries to kill it. And remember, patience is not only in hardships. Patience is also in obedience to Allah, in consistency with your prayers, in guarding your modesty, in controlling your desires. The patience of lowering your gaze, the patience of saying no to haram opportunities, the patience of choosing halal even when it is difficult. This is sabr too. Every time you restrain yourself for the sake of Allah, you are honored. You become a queen who commands herself rather than being a slave of her desires. Allah's promise is clear. He says, "Give glad tidings to the patient, those who when disaster strikes them say, indeed we belong to Allah, and to Him we will return. It is they upon whom are blessings from their Lord and mercy, and it is they who are rightly guided." Do you see how Allah honors those who are patient? He sends His blessings upon them. He showers them with His mercy, and He declares that they are guided. This is not the honor of this world. This is eternal honor, heavenly honor. So, my sisters, when life tests you, and life will test you, do not think Allah has abandoned you. Instead, know that Allah is polishing your crown, raising your rank, and writing your name among the honored. Every trial is an opportunity for you to prove your strength. Every hardship is a chance to wear your invisible crown. And one day, when the veil of this dunya is lifted, when Jannah is opened, you will see the result of your patience. Angels will welcome you with the words, "Peace be upon you for what you patiently endured." Excellent is the final home. That is true royalty. To walk into Jannah not because of wealth, not because of status, not because of beauty, but because you remained patient when life tested you. To wear a crown in the hereafter made from your tears, your prayers, your resilience. To sit on a throne surrounded by angels, honored by Allah Himself. That is the power of patience. That is the dignity of sabr. And that, my beloved sisters, is how true honor is written in the sight of Allah. My beloved brothers and sisters, the greatest deception of this world is that people believe honor lies in pleasing others. Many women spend their entire lives trying to win the approval of society, the acceptance of family, the compliments of friends, and the admiration of strangers. But the truth is, no matter how much you try, people will never be satisfied. Today you may dress a certain way, and they will still criticize. Tomorrow you may speak in a certain manner, and they will still mock you. You may sacrifice your happiness for their approval, yet they will always find fault. That is the nature of people. They are never fully pleased. But Allah Almighty is different. The moment you turn your heart towards Him, the moment you prioritize His pleasure above all, you will find a peace that no human validation can give you. The Prophet Muhammad reminded us that whoever seeks the pleasure of Allah, even if it displeases people, Allah will be pleased with them, and He will make the people pleased with them as well. And whoever seeks the pleasure of people while displeasing Allah, Allah will be displeased with them, and He will make the people displeased with them too. Subhanallah, how powerful this is. The very people you are breaking yourself for, running after, crying for their approval, will eventually turn against you if you abandon Allah in the process. But if you live for Allah, if you say, "Lay Allah, I want your acceptance even if the world rejects me," then Allah will make your enemies respect you. He will place love for you in the hearts of people, and He will honor you in ways you never imagined. Think of Khadija's Ray, the wife of the Prophet. She was a wealthy, respected woman in society. But her true royalty came when she chose Allah's pleasure above the entire world. When the Quraysh mocked the Prophet, when the leaders of Makkah turned against him, when their wealth was lost in the boycott, she stood firm by his side. She gave her wealth for Islam. She sacrificed her comfort. She faced hunger and hardship, yet her loyalty was not to society's opinions, but to Allah's cause. And today, Allah honored her with the title of being the mother of the believers and a guarantee of a palace in Jannah made of pearls. Consider Fatima Roev, the daughter of the Prophet. She lived a life of extreme simplicity, grinding grain with her own hands, carrying water until her body ached, wearing clothes so simple they had patches. Yet she never complained. She never chased the dunya. She sought the pleasure of Allah above comfort, above luxury, above wealth. And what was her reward? The Prophet said she is the leader of the women in paradise. What greater royalty could there be? My sisters, the reality is that the world will always try to pull you into its games. Fashion trends will change. Opinions will shift. Standards of beauty will rise and fall. If you chase them, you will always be running but never satisfied. But if you chase Allah's pleasure, you will stand firm. You will feel a stability in your heart that nothing can shake. You will wake up with purpose. You will sleep with peace, because your worth is tied not to people, but to the Creator of people. Seeking Allah's pleasure means you choose His commands even when it is difficult. It means you wear your hijab not because people expect it, not because of culture, but because Allah asked you to. It means you guard your tongue, even when anger burns in your chest, because Allah loves those who restrain their anger. It means you wake up for prayer in the quiet of dawn, not to show the world your piety, but because you want Allah to be pleased with you. This is true freedom, true dignity, true royalty, to break the chains of people's expectations and to wear only the crown of Allah's approval. And understand this, my beloved sisters, when you seek Allah's pleasure above all, Allah Himself becomes your protector. He shields you from harm. He opens doors you never imagined. He places barakah in your life. Even when people turn their backs on you, He will send hearts to support you from directions you never knew. Even if the world rejects you, the angels will pray for you. Even if you lose status in this dunya, Allah will raise your status in Jannah. This is why the Prophet I said, whoever humbles himself for Allah, Allah will elevate him. Too many people lose themselves trying to please everyone, but royalty lies in being firm. Royalty lies in saying, if Allah loves me, I do not care who hates me. If Allah accepts me, I do not care who rejects me. If Allah writes me among the honored, then the dishonor of the world means nothing. That attitude, that mindset, that faith, this is what makes a woman a queen in the sight of Allah. Think of Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh. She had the entire dunya at her feet. She could have chosen the life of comfort, of palaces, of status. But she chose Allah's pleasure instead. She rejected the arrogance of Pharaoh. She rejected the temporary crown of this world, and she chose the eternal crown of the hereafter. When she was tortured, she raised her eyes and said, "My Lord, build for me a house near you in paradise." Do you see how she prioritized Allah's pleasure over Dunya's glamour? And today, she is remembered forever as one of the greatest women in history. So, my beloved sisters, if you want to live as a queen, do not measure your worth by the applause of people. Measure it by the smile of your Lord. Do not break yourself for likes on a screen. Break yourself in sujood before the one who holds your soul. Do not lose your identity to fit in with society. Strengthen your identity to stand tall with Allah. Royalty is not in wearing a crown made of gold. It is in wearing a heart that beats with Amen. Royalty is not in sitting on thrones made of silk. It is in standing in prayer on the prayer mat. Royalty is not in being praised by millions. It is in being loved by Allah. And when Allah loves you, He calls Jibril, and Jibril calls the angels. And love for you is placed in the hearts of creation. That is the honor that never fades, the pleasure that never ends, the crown that never falls. So seek Allah's pleasure, my sisters, and you will never lose. Even if the world turns against you, you have already won, because the one who created the world is with you. And what greater royalty can there be than to be chosen, loved, and honored by Allah Almighty? My beloved brothers and sisters, let us reflect upon one of the most powerful treasures Allah has placed in the heart of a believer. Tawakkul, complete trust and reliance upon Allah. This is not a small matter. Tawakkul is not a simple word we say when we are in difficulty. It is a hidden strength, a force that transforms weakness into power, fear into courage, sadness into peace. It is a crown that adorns the heart of a woman who refuses to be shaken by the storms of life, because she knows her Rabb, the King of all kings, is holding her hand. What does it mean to truly have tawakkul? It means to tie your camel, to do what is in your control, but then to surrender the outcome to Allah. It means you strive, you make effort, you plan, you prepare, but in your heart, you know that success, provision, safety, and victory come only from Allah. Tawakkul is not laziness. Tawakkul is not sitting back and saying, Allah will do it for me. No, tawakkul is striving with every ounce of your effort and then trusting Allah with the results. When a woman lives like this, her strength is unlike any other. She can face loss and still smile. She can face betrayal and still remain dignified. She can face uncertainty and still stand tall, because her anchor is not this dunya. Her anchor is Allah. Think of Hajar, the mother of Ismail, peace be upon them. She was left alone in a barren desert with no food, no water, no shelter, no people. Imagine that situation. A woman with her baby in the middle of nowhere. Most people would collapse in despair, but Hajar's tawakkul was so powerful that it echoed through history. She ran between the hills of Safa and Marwa, not giving up, not surrendering to fear, but moving with faith that Allah would provide. And what happened? Allah made the water of Zamzam gush from beneath the feet of her baby, a miracle that sustains millions of people to this day. That is the power of tawakkul. When you rely on Allah, He will open doors from places you never imagined. My sisters, many times you feel broken because of the unpredictability of life. You plan, but plans fail. You trust people, but they betray. You work hard, but success doesn't come. It is in those moments that tawakkul must fill your heart. Say to yourself, my Rabb is enough for me. If Allah wills it, nothing can stop it. If Allah does not will it, nothing can make it happen. This belief frees you from anxiety, frees you from desperation, frees you from begging people for validation. Tawakkul is hidden strength, because no one can see it except Allah. But it empowers you to face the world with courage. Look at the Prophet himself. When he and Abu Bakr were hiding in the cave during Hijrah, the enemy was right outside. One step more and they would have been discovered. Any normal person would panic, but the Prophet, full of tawakkul, said to Abu Bakr, do not grieve, indeed Allah is with us. Subhanallah, when your heart carries tawakkul, even the greatest dangers feel small, even the heaviest trials feel light. Tawakkul does not mean you will not feel pain. It does not mean you will not cry. Even Maryam, cried out in her labor pains. Even the Prophet, wept at the loss of loved ones. But tawakkul means that through the pain, through the tears, your heart is steady. You still believe Allah has written what is best for you, even if you cannot see it yet. You still say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. You still find hope in the fact that Allah is in control. That is what makes a woman truly strong. Not her outer strength, not her loudness, not her wealth, but her tawakkul. My sisters, how often do we tire ourselves chasing security in this dunya? We think if I marry the right person, I'll be safe. If I have a big house, I'll be stable. If I save enough money, I'll never worry. But the truth is, none of these things guarantee peace. Marriages can break, houses can collapse, money can disappear. The only guarantee is Allah. And when you anchor your heart in Him, when you say sincerely, Hasbiyallahu wa ni'mal wakil, Allah is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer of affairs, then even if the world crumbles around you, you will not collapse. There are women who look fragile on the outside, but carry mountains within because of tawakkul. They may be widows raising children alone, yet their trust in Allah keeps them smiling. They may be battling illness, yet their trust in Allah keeps them hopeful. They may be mocked for their faith, yet their trust in Allah keeps them firm. That is hidden royalty. The crown of tawakkul shining in their hearts, unseen by people but glowing in the sight of Allah. The Quran reminds us again and again, and whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. What more do you need than the sufficiency of Allah? Do not let your heart be enslaved to fear of the future. Do not let your soul be trapped by the illusions of Dunya. Place your trust in the one who holds the future, the one who owns the Dunya and the Akhirah. When you carry tawakkul, you carry an unshakable peace. Even when you lose something, you whisper, Allah has written better. Even when people leave you, you say, Allah is still with me. Even when doors close, you believe, Allah will open one greater. This mindset turns your hardships into hope, your pain into power, your trials into treasures. So, my beloved sisters, seek this hidden strength. Let your heart be filled with tawakkul every morning. Begin your day not with fear of what might happen, but with certainty that Allah is enough. When you wear your hijab, wear it with tawakkul. When you raise your children, raise them with tawakkul. When you step into the unknown, step with tawakkul. And when you face heartbreak, face it with tawakkul. Because tawakkul is not just a concept, it is the crown of every queen in the sight of Allah. It is the strength that will carry you through this dunya and into Jannah. And the woman who trusts Allah in this world will walk into paradise with a peace that never ends. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest mistakes we fall into is measuring success by what we see in this dunya. We think the one who has the palace, the luxury car, the jewelry, the social media following, the crowds of admirers, she must be a queen. She must be powerful. She must be honored. But in reality, the dunya is a mirage. It is an illusion that blinds many hearts. A throne in this world is fragile. A crown here can be stolen, broken, or lost. But the crown of the hereafter, the crown that Allah places on His beloved servants, that crown never fades, never breaks, never falls. That crown is eternal, and it is far greater than all the thrones of this dunya combined. Think about the words of the Prophet, when he told us that on the day of judgment, Allah will place a crown of honor upon the heads of parents whose children memorized Quran. If that is the reward for raising a child who connects to the Quran, imagine the crown for the woman who herself lives the Quran, breathes the Quran, walks with the Quran in her heart. That crown will not be made of gold or diamonds, because what are gold and diamonds compared to the light of Allah? That crown will shine with a brilliance greater than the sun. My sisters, many times you feel overlooked in this world. You sacrifice for your family and no one thanks you. You remain patient in hardship and no one notices. You hold on to your dignity while others mock you. People do not see your tears, your struggles, your hidden battles. But remember, Allah sees everything, and Allah does not waste the deeds of the righteous. The crown of the hereafter is being prepared for you silently, even as you cry silently. The angels are recording your sabr, your worship, your sincerity. And on that day, when no one can help another, Allah will honor you in front of the entire creation. The Prophet told us that the lowest person in Jannah will have what is equal to 10 times the kingdom of this world. That is the lowest rank. Now imagine the one whom Allah calls a leader of women in paradise, like Fatima Suray, the beloved daughter of the Prophet She had no palace in Dunya. She lived a simple life of struggle, grinding grain, until her hands became rough. Yet the Prophet promised her a crown of honor in Jannah, a crown brighter than anything we can imagine. Subhanallah, that is real royalty. Do you know why the hereafter crown is worth more? Because this dunya is temporary. No matter how high you rise here, death will take it all. The throne of Pharaoh crumbled. The palaces of kings turned into dust. Even the crowns of queens ended up buried in the ground. But the crown that Allah gives His servants in the hereafter is eternal. It will not fade. It will not break. It will not be stolen. It is given by the King of Kings, Al-Malik. And when Allah honors you, no one can dishonor you. My sisters, every sada you make is a jewel in your crown. Every time you lower your gaze, a diamond is added to your crown. Every tear you shed in the night out of fear of Allah becomes a shining pearl in your crown. And every moment you choose Allah's pleasure over your desires, your crown grows more radiant. You may not see it now, but on the day when the veils are lifted, you will see your efforts transformed into light and beauty. That is why the women of Taqwa are true queens, not because of their outward crowns here, but because of the unseen crown waiting for them in the hereafter. When the Prophet described the people of paradise, he said their faces will shine like the full moon. Imagine walking into Jannah and the angels welcoming you with salam, your face glowing with light, a crown placed upon your head, garments more beautiful than anything designers in Dunya could imagine. People chase fashion here, but one garment of Jannah is worth more than the entire Dunya. People chase crowns here, but one crown of the hereafter will make the richest queen of Dunya look like a beggar. So, my dear sisters, do not be deceived by the glamour of this world. Do not feel inferior because someone has a bigger house or more expensive clothes. Remember, Allah is not looking at your possessions, He is looking at your heart and your deeds. The woman who remains patient in her poverty, who worships Allah sincerely, who gives in charity even if it is just a date, who lowers her pride and raises her faith. She is the one building her throne in Jannah. She is the one earning her eternal crown. And think of this, the Prophet said that in paradise there are things no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has ever imagined. That means even as we talk about crowns and thrones, the reality is far greater than our imagination. The crown Allah prepares for His righteous women is beyond diamonds, beyond gold, beyond our comprehension. It is a crown of divine honor. It is a crown that says, you were patient when life tested you. You were steadfast when others gave up. You held on to your faith when others let it go. Today, we honor you for eternity. My sisters, your crown of the hereafter is being shaped by your choices today. Every time you forgive when you could have sought revenge, you polish your crown. Every time you pray on time, even when you are tired, you strengthen your crown. Every time you refuse to compromise your Deen for people's approval, your crown shines brighter. These sacrifices may feel small, but in the scales of Allah, they are weighty. And on the day of judgment, they will appear as treasures that outshine the dunya and all it contains. So walk through this dunya not chasing its fragile crowns, but building your eternal crown. Remind yourself, my Rabb sees me. My crown is waiting. When the world pressures you to take off your modesty, say, I will not trade my eternal crown for your temporary applause. When people mock your faith, smile and say, my Rabb is preparing something greater. When you feel tired of your trials, whisper, this patience is the jewel of my crown. And when you finally meet Allah, He will honor you with a crown brighter than the sun, a throne higher than Dunya's kings, and a home more beautiful than any palace on earth. That, my beloved sisters, is true royalty. That is why the hereafter crown is worth more than Dunya's thrones. Because it is not made of metal and stones. It is made of your faith, your patience, your sincerity, and Allah's eternal mercy. And once you wear it, you will never take it off.